Welcome back to JB Reviews. We have this 2022 Toyota Tundra, and this is like my second time having a chance to tow with the Tundra. The first one I did had air suspension. It was a higher trim level. This one is a little bit lower trim level, right? And it doesn't have air suspension. So this should be a good test. It does have the longer bed. It's an SR5, and I've always noticed that in the past that when you have the standard beds versus the short beds, the standard beds always tow better. And if you are looking to tow with a half-ton truck, if you don't ever plan on going over 60 miles an hour, these trucks are amazing. They really are. I mean, under 60 miles an hour with this standard bed, it's almost like the trailer's not back there. Now, unfortunately, one negative thing about Toyota Tundra is they squat a lot. So in the last video, I showed you guys the cat scale weigh-in. I showed you guys how much it lowered with the hitch weight, and I showed you all the numbers. So if you want to know all this information, you can pause this video, go back and watch it if you'd like, but I'm not going over it in this one. So today is all about towing. So you guys got the towing numbers, you got all the numbers for the trailer. Today is figuring out how well can this truck tow up a 6% grade. Now let's talk about the mirrors. I'll show it to you guys here in a second. There is tow mirrors available for the Toyota Tundra. Unfortunately, they don't give you convex, which is much needed. And right now, I can tell you guys, having a twin turbo engine, this is a 3.4 liter I-Force, and it does such a great job, guys. Like, it really is a good towing engine, and it holds the gears. Now, something I've noticed in the past, when you have these half-ton trucks, just because you have 10 gears, 9 times out of 10, the truck won't go into 9th and 10th gear. Sometimes it hangs out in 7th and 8th gear. So you guys unfortunately won't be able to see that in this video because I can't lock it in and show you exactly what gear we're in every time, but I just want you guys to keep that in the back of your mind that typically with these trucks, they don't normally shift out of, or they don't normally shift into 9th and 10th gears. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the other camera view because I want you guys to see the acceleration. I gotta get around this truck. Let's see how good this twin turbo V6 performs. Here we go. Wide open throttle. Not bad. Now we're going downhill now, so I'm not going to use that. So yes, I will tell you right now, if you're looking at a Toyota Tundra and you're thinking about towing a trailer, just go to a higher trim level. Unfortunately, you're going to lose payload, but this truck doesn't have that much payload either, as you saw in the last video. But there's a lot of sway with this trailer. Now, I've towed this exact trailer with the limited, with the air suspension, or was it a platinum? It was either a limited or a platinum, I can't remember now, but it had air suspension, and I don't recall it having this much sway. Now, it does have Falcon tires, and I don't think that these are the stock tires that came on the truck, but they look to be overbuilt, and I'll show those to you guys in a second. Here are the tires. These are the Falcon Rubitrek AT01s, and in the comment section, who knows what this icon stands for? Let me know. Also 265/70/18, and here are the capacity, 2,756 pounds at 51 psi. They have a decent girth to them. They do protect the rim, I would say, for sure. So we're going about 70 miles an hour. I'm going to drop down about 65. This seems to be the sweet spot for the stability here. But I'm just over 2,000 RPMs, right? Let me just take my foot off the gas. So it just downshifted. I'm willing to bet you guys we're probably like in 5th gear right now. If I do wide open throttle, that's probably 4th gear. So yeah, like I said, it's hanging out in probably 7th, 8th gear right now. But it has enough power. I can't wait till we get to the grade so you guys can see what happens when that sail behind us bogs this truck down. Every time I do this test, unless it's like an HD truck with a diesel, it's just
painful because there's just, it feels like there's no power, but it's because of how long this trailer is, and it really does kind of create a wall or a barrier going up a steep grade. So just keep that in mind on this test.
One thing I want to discuss in this video is the sounds that you get from the engine. Whenever you have a manufacturer today who's skipping out on the V8s and going to these forced induction 6-cylinders, they add fake sounds to the engine, and Toyota is one of those culprits. Now, one thing I'll say is, I don't hear the fake sound in this truck, but the turbo whistles sound weird. Like, hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me just get around this truck that's in front of me. I can't, you know, let you guys hear it unless I speed up, but yeah, I can't get you guys to hear it right now. I'm just going way too slow, or I'm not able to get up to a nice RPM so you guys can hear it. But it doesn't sound good. It sounds like there's something wrong with the truck. That's what it first sounds like when I hear it. But I love the transmission though. This transmission holds the gears pretty dang good. But I'm gonna try to get over right here. I think I'm gonna put my signal on now. All right, perfect. So here we go. Okay, it went away. But it sounds like a whistling sound. It doesn't sound good. Like normally you hear like turbo noise goes like nice whistles. This don't have a nice whistle. But it does have enough power though. And let's see, so far on this trip, I've gotten 5.4 MPG, which is, that's kind of low at this point, but we'll have to wait and see what we get at the very top. Now, I am going to be putting this up against the Power Boost because the Power Boost got the worst, and that was a hybrid. So this has a twin turbo setup too, V6. So then we'll have to see. Now this truck does have port and direct injection too, which is nice. That's the D4S system, that's what they call it. And yeah, so you get that, which is a nice benefit. But yeah, at 65 miles an hour, that's the best stability so far. Any faster, I was doing about 68, and I just kind of started to feel the truck kind of sway. Now that's a big trailer back there. I wouldn't recommend this for like these types of trucks, but I do this type of testing because it has spread axles and it sits low to the ground, so the aerodynamics of it are pretty good. So it tows well. But as far as your numbers go, if you watch the last video, you're just going to be over every single time. I am going to slow down for this test so you guys can see what happens at 55 miles an hour at the very beginning of the grade. Now, a lot of people get mad when I do that, so I'm going to mention it every time. You guys see what just happened? I'm going 44 miles an hour because this truck got over and slowed down traffic. So sometimes these things happen in real life where you have to slow down. So it's nice to see what happens when you slow down and if the truck can actually get back up to speed. Now, I'm not really too worried about this truck because it has the turbo. So we should be to the grade in about a few minutes. And like I said, I'll go ahead and start the camera at this screen here so you guys can see the speed, all right? This is the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. It's going to have 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes to a 10-speed transmission. That rear axle ratio is going to be a 331, but first gear in this transmission is going to be like a 492, so it's pretty deep first, second, and third gears. Let's see how it goes up that grade. All right, here we go. Let me drop down to about 55. When the road does the split to 4 lanes, I'm gonna go ahead and press. Here we go. That's good right there. Wow. Okay. What? Are you serious?
Is the Tundra actually better than the Power Boost? Are you serious right now? I gotta get all the way over. Are you serious right now? We're past the Power Boost. That's insanity. So okay, so we just hit a brick wall. Holding gears, fantastic, good job. Can I get up to 69? I feel like it's trying. It's like right there. 69, there it is. Are you kidding me? This truck did better than, I believe, the Power Stroke with the 6-speed. And let me just say it again. I said it in the last video I did with the 5.3 with the GMC. That is the power of more gears. I'm gonna go ahead and get over now. That is the power of more gears, guys. What? Are you serious right now? I am shocked by this. I mean, this truck beat out a few of them now. I mean, maybe not the Power Stroke. Maybe the Power Stroke got up to 70 something. And I'm just forgetting. So we did lose 1 mile an hour, which is okay. Because as long as it stays over 65, it beat the Ford. And this is not even the max. There's one more engine above this one. So we're back up to 69, and we don't have much more runway here, so it just dropped down again. So we're pretty much done. Incredible. Incredible. I keep getting shocked by these tests, because like I told you guys earlier, that is a sail back there, and it really does affect the performance of these trucks, especially at these higher elevations. I mean, I'm shocked by that. I really am. I was not expecting that. Now, we also beat out the Ford Power Boost with MPG, because at the very top we got the 3.9 MPG, so we are better in both categories there. Insane. And this is not even the hybrid.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and check out the temperature on that axle. So most of the other trucks were about 190. Toyota did it in 167, 168 rounded off. Yep, that's the best so far that I've seen on that axle going up that grade. Tires, 105, brakes, 160, oh, 200 I saw on the brakes, which are the hottest I've seen. And I believe that's about where the turbo is. There's the manifold down there. Right there. About 460. Let's see if the other side is a little bit better. Yeah, this might be a little bit better. There's definitely some heat down there though. About 460 on that side, and then lastly, intakes right here. A little bit hotter than I like to see. I like to see it around 130, even though it's on the outside. It's really hot in this area right here. Now you have an intake on this side. This one's a lot cooler. You see that? 124. But this is like basically the hot side of the engine. Here is the grade going down. Let me go back so you guys can see the speed. I think it's right here. Pretty much giving it brakes right now. And of course, there's no input. No surprise there, right? It's saying my trailer's 36 feet long, but it's not. I put it on automatic. Probably was a bad idea. I don't know where I saw that miles per hour, like it was showing you guys the speed digitally, but we're going about 68 miles an hour right now. And we are in a lower gear, but I'm having to give it brake input
probably about every quarter mile because it keeps on speeding up. So let's do this. Let's just downshift. So that's 4th gear. Okay. Man, we're still speeding up though. And this is way too fast for this truck. Way too fast. I'm having a brain fart. I do not know how I got the speed to show up digitally, but yeah, we're going 65 again. I was down to about 60. Let me see if I can get it down to 3rd gear. I mean, we are pretty already high up in the RPM, so I'm not shocked by that. But yeah, the brakes, you're gonna cook the brakes if you are going down a grade for 10 miles or something like that. Maybe not 10 miles, but probably 5 miles, because you're gonna have to keep giving it input. But yeah, that's the only negative with these trucks, are the transmissions just don't give it that engine braking that you need to keep it and maintain that 60, maybe 65 miles an hour. I mean, right now we're on flat ground, so it doesn't count here, but in other words, this transmission performs just like all the other half tons. There's just no engine braking, unless if you're comparing it to HD like I am. I'm comparing to HD trucks. Those transmissions give you a lot more input. I mean, even if you put it in manual mode, they'll at least maintain the speed, but with this truck and with the Ford and the GMCs that I've tested, it's like you have to keep giving it brake input, which is kind of dangerous when it can get up to 100 degrees, you know, on some of these, you know, highways, and you're going down for miles and miles. Here we go. I can't remember if I showed you guys the mirrors. I think I did, but in case I didn't, here they are. Pretty good. I completely forgot, if you turn off the Toyota Tundra, it does reset the trip average, but I saw it before I turned it off. It was 7.1 for the MPG, and it was 37.8 miles driven. I just looked through here to see if it had the numbers, but it doesn't really show the most recent trip, unfortunately, so my apologies, but those were the numbers though. All they need is more payload, better rear axle rating, and maybe just a little bit more overbuilt rear suspension, or to make air suspension standard on these trucks, because this truck's squatting a good bit. But these trucks aren't built for heavy towing. They're really built for very light towing. You know, if you're looking to tow a car, you're gonna do it on an open trailer. This truck would be perfect for that. But to do this long term, I mean, this is a lot of fatigue on the frame, on the suspension, and not to mention on the engine too, although I think that engine is pretty overbuilt for what it is. But I hope you guys liked the video. I think that this truck definitely outperformed the Power Boost, and that was a 2023. So 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque can't even beat Toyota's standard 3.4 liter twin turbo V6, guys. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications are on. See you guys soon.